So don't forget, X is the social media you can go to hashtag CTV Morning Brief and get to tell us what you're saying, and we'll help you amplify your voice. Also, WhatsApp number will be scrolling on your screen. Yes, send your messages and your videos only. Whatever is going on where you are, in case you're having a meeting with your lawmakers and they are planning to defect, yes, we're going to take a swipe at them today.
No, but it's what it is. Really. It's not being targeted. Yeah, it's governance.
So while we're brainstorming, there are probably more brainstorming sessions
already going on. There are letters already written and signed.
There are so many that are coming, and I see that the PDP is literally playing into the hands of the APC with all that is going on. We've seen with Abia, we've seen what's going on in Kaduna. So let's see how it plays out. But the simple rule is, if you're not happy with their defection, take them to court. Let the court kick them out. Jeffrey, if you have a case.
Court
Jeffrey's
will cost
going to
you
be
money.
Consultancy to some lawmakers.
I would like to be.
But it will cost you money. It will cost
as a consultant, they'll pay me
a lot of time. No, I'm talking about the politicians or whoever is going to court. And sometimes, I mean, look at the Rivers situation. We went to court year after the case is thrown out, nothing came out of it.
And no consequence. And for the Rivers case, I particularly kind of have some reservations about the perception that, the case that will determine the membership status of the lawmakers is more important than the determination of the budget 2024. Because already 2024 has been over and done with, and there is, 2025 budget that has been passed. So what, antecedent is it being set for executives?
And I think that's why they withdrew that case.
Executive lawlessness about which assembly to transact business with. Why do you think that it is appropriate for an executive to transact business with a four-man assembly when the Constitution is clear about what a quorum is? Of course, the lawyers are going to come and dissect that as well about what a quorum really means, and make it become relative.
I think let's leave it to
These are real issues. The politics aside, so.
Let's leave it to the. I think that's why we left it to the courts to make their decision. Yeah. Let the court decide. And I can give you guys information for free. It's a long haul. It's good tea.
So get ready for the marathon.
Yeah, it's not over yet. It's just let's leave the court to make their decision as to who is right and wrong.
Take a look at the front pages this morning. I imagine that you can feel that passion. Every Nigerian understands these things, we see these things, but let's take a look at how the dailies are reporting the big stories this morning. We're starting off with the Nigerian Tribune. The Nigerian Tribune leads with something very interesting, okay? Perish thought of 2027 presidency. Ganduje tells northern politicians. Says Tinubu will serve 2 terms. Okay, so there you have it. I don't want to use that saying that you send the child of the fire to the fire. Bukola, how is that thing said again?
You mean how you just said in our own language?
But did I interpret it well?
You lost me on that one,
because this is really what's happening here. You have a former governor of Kano State telling the North, in that sense, or northern politicians, perish the thought of 2027 presidency. Tinubu will serve 2 terms. One, you're not INEC, right? At least you're not the one that is going to vote. Last I remember, it's still 1 person, 1 vote. And I know there's a process, even though it will sail through the whole primary process, is the president. But the election has not even happened just yet. We're not even in 2026 or 22.
We have not even seen the gains of this administration yet. We're still in the pains phase. Allow me to use that word, in the pain phase.
Well, they're calling him T-gain, actually. Those in government say it's T-gain.
Well, those on the other side say it's a T-pain situation.
Exactly. What will you say if you're in government? Are you going to say it's T-pain?
You don't.
I don't expect people.
You don't talk while you're eating.
I don't expect spokespersons, or that's it. I would be disappointed if a spokesperson comes to say it's T-pain. All right, that's what his job is. I was just a bit uncomfortable that it was coming from the NSA. That was what I was confused about. What's the NSA's business with that?
Yeah. Jeffrey, that's data for your consultancy, so please keep gathering. Where are we headed next?
Let me just take one more for you. This, of course, is from yesterday, we had that conversation. I see FG to install 100 billion naira solar mini grid at UCH, Unilag, others. And it's great to see this conversation making the rounds. Of course, we had the rural electrification. It can be a tongue twister sometimes. Yeah. The Rural Electrification Agency head right here on the show spoke about myriad of issues. And this was one of the things that came out, the plan of a government. And we have a date within the next 6 months.
In August.
Exactly.
2025.
So we're going to look at all of the promises made, particularly this one, solar mini grids at UCH. Remember the issues with UCH, Unilag, and the rest. So way to go, but we are watching. That's the front page of the Nigerian Tribune.
And I wish every Nigerian leader would make targets like that and, you know, show such resolve. But, you know, there's a difference between effort and result. So we're waiting for the result.
I pray it succeeds because it's good for all of us.
Definitely.
Amen. The Guardian, I love The Guardian this morning, and for good reason. Take a look at the big story. The first line at the top of the big caption reads thus: ATM withdrawal fees. CBN bets on breaking POS monopoly, improving banks' cash operation. And there you see a very vivid imagery, or if you like, cartoon presentation of what they're trying to say. You see some Nigerians on the ATM queue, very few of them really, and then you see Nigerians on the POS queue. You see that long line there. Collect 20,000 naira for is it 200 naira now or 400 naira? Yeah, if you are a regular POS customer like some of us, you'd know what you're charged for 20,000 naira. In fact, in some places, it's 500 naira for 20,000 naira. So it's like a paradox kind of presentation of what the reality really is, because there's been a hike in the charge for ATM withdrawals for fees, and the Guardian is presenting it in this unique situation. I wonder how you guys are internalizing this particular headline, Kayode and Jeffrey.
Well, I'm internalizing that and another headline.
Okay.
So I don't know, Jeffrey, are you internalizing the POS and ATM?
Let's move to the next one.
The other one you're internalizing. Okay, it's just below the big pictures on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. And this is for Valentine's Day. See, NACA. By the way, NACA is the Action Committee on AIDS.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Committee on AIDS.
NACA urges Nigerians.
Okay.
Yeah, Action Committee on AIDS.
Action Committee on AIDS, yeah.
So NACA urges Nigerians, that is you listening to me out there, to shun risky behavior. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't think we need to delve deeper, but just know. In fact, that headline is in red. So enjoy.
So
responsibly.
Valentine is coming. You know the rest, right? Let's go to the leadership newspaper. I leave that to you to explain.
All right, Jeffrey.
Leadership's the headlines for the leadership newspaper: experts fault reintegration of repentant terrorists. Seek their prosecution compensation for victims for no government denying us access to rescued girls, Chibok leaders. So I think we've had that conversation with the defense operations. The head of defense operations, Major General here, was with us, and we did ask that question: how much of de-radicalization has been sorted, and whether it's really working? He was very confident that it works. You know, even though a lot of people are concerned that, do these guys really change? Don't they act as, you know, informants, or they come as in form of espionage? They're coming to pretend that they are repenting. So, but the authorities have said this works, but people don't really believe that some of these things work. Some believe it does. So at the end of the day, it's the result and the data that will show how many of these guys who are said to be quote unquote repentant go back or continue their continue to be better.
You know, my concern is that they put on, they put off the garment of insurgents and put on another of bandits.
I think they should just face the law as much as possible for those who should face the law. Well, if the army or the authorities say they can reintegrate them, let's see how that plays out. And the issue of compensation for victims, I think, should be thoroughly highlighted. Where do we go from here?
This Nigeria is next, and this Nigeria, of course, talks about the ATM bit CBN policy, but what really catches my attention is the story just at the top right corner of the front page. Oh yes, there's also the FCT minister on Almajiri, the influx of Almajiri in FCT. But look at the top right corner of the front page of this Nigeria, and it's unveiling right now. 67% of schools operate as exam magic centers, says Assessment Ethics Marshal. 67% of schools operate as exam magic centers. In case you're wondering what's exam magic, it's just what it is, exam magic, where you have people just go in there to write examinations knowing that they'll get some sort of support here and there to pass, not basically just based on what they know, but based on the help they receive, and this is worrisome.
And this is a criminal practice.
Oh, yeah.
So the administration of those schools should be brought to book.
And you know what's even shocking? That parents actually pay for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have one more story from Nigeria.
I think I'll just talk about the hike.
I think maybe we'll go to blueprints for a moment. Is him
Jeffrey said, make we go to the Nigerian just so has to sneak in.
Make we go. Let's go to blueprints. Ganduje to Northerners drop. Okay, we've said this before. That's actually the old political story as far as the blueprint newspaper headline is actually concerned. And then it means that the build-up is on. I'm seeing a lot of these days. I see El-Rufai talking a lot. I don't know where that is coming from, but as we've always said, when politicians are looking forward, look backward and know exactly what is going on at the end of the day. So there's a lot of rallying around, realignment, alignment. But these are the early days. By say August this year, we're going to get a stronger, clearer picture as to who has pitched his tent where. Guys.
Yeah.
Well, there's an interesting story at the bottom of Blueprint here, Jeffrey. It will interest you. With Nigeria, now Africa's investment destination, 2025 year of consolidation, that's ascribed to the federal government. So I wonder, what's the physical evidence of those very compelling investments that are on ground for Nigeria
they are talking more of FPIs. I think you cannot maybe argue that when you put a T-bill at 21%, our interest on all these investment and instruments are quite high. So if you look at the globe and look at the numbers, some are doing 5% if you put the money there, some are doing 10, some are doing 7, and then a country is doing 20. You can naturally just so and so. It's not because of the federal government is trying to accrue as much dollars as possible. So we're seeing the dollar gain. There's so many factors to that. We can't explain all of it here. But the FPI itself. So when you talk about FDI, that's a different kettle of fish. I don't think that's what they are talking about here.
Just to explain, FDI is foreign direct investment.
That means
FDI
they have opened shop.
Foreign portfolio investment.
That means they are buying shares.
Putting money
So
in.
it is the FDI that Nigerians want to see, because that's what the country's hard-earned money is being spent on.
So
when Mr. President and his vice, go around the world marketing Nigeria and telling the world that Nigeria is a viable investment destination.
Very interesting debate, really, because some will say, I'm not going to get into that debate this morning, but you could be a part of the show.
It's our country. If people open shop than close shop for us, I think it's a lot better for us at the end of the day. FPIs are great, but we call it volatile capital. That means if there's a they'll run away, because just take your money, put your money, take your money, because the president has promised that. But if you open shop, before you think of calling operations off, at the end of the day, you may even divest or even sell it to a Nigerian. So it's also gain for us.
We'll not get into that deep.